Hi besties, welcome back to the channel. This is So with Somi. On today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how I made this stylish bustier dress with a square neckline, and it has a side ruffle on the side. So this dress, you can wear it in two ways. You can wear it with a top, or you can wear it sleeveless. So to get all the details, do not skip any part of this video, and do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, and on your post notifications so you get notified anytime I post a new video. So for this tutorial, I made use of 3 yards of this Ankara fabric. You can make use of any fabric of your choice. So I have 3 yards here. Here I have my pattern paper and I've marked out my starting line. So I'll be taking my measurements. I'll come down 9 inches for my chest line, 10 inches for my bust point, 13 for my under bust, and my waist is 16, but I made it 17 because I'll be using the extra inch there for joining allowance to the lower part. So after marking out that, I'm going to rule out my line so that we can have a straight line to work with. So here, this is what I have. So this is my chest line, bust point, under bust, and my waistline. So now on the shoulder line, I'll divide my round shoulder by 2. So this is a sleeveless gown. I took out 1 inch from my shoulder and I marked 6.5 both on the shoulder line and on the chest line, and I connected the points together. For the neck width, I made use of a neck width of 3 inches, and I came down 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I connected that to the neck width. So we're just drafting out a basic bodice. Now for the front neckline, I came down 7 inches. So depending on how deep you want it to be, I made use of 7 inches. On that point, I went in by 3.5 inches. And I'll connect the points together. So with the help of my curve ruler, I'll be connecting from this 7 inches to my neck width this way. So that is what will give us that U kind of shape on the neckline. So this is what I have. I'll measure what I have on the armhole, and half of that is 4. I came in on that point by half an inch. On the chest line, I divided my round bust by 4 and I marked. Now I'm going to connect the points together to curve out my armhole. So this is what I have. So now we'll be taking our nipple to nipple measurements. Mine is 4.5. I added half an inch to that, making it 5. So I will not be adding extra inches while cutting. So now I'll just mark that on the bust points, on the bust and the waistline, and I'll rule the lines out. So for my dart intake, I'm making use of 2 inches. You can decide to split it into 2. So here I'm just making sure my 5 is correct. So you can start to split it into 2. So like mark 1 inch on each side, but I'm taking all my measurement on one side, which is on the armhole side. So I marked 2 inches on the waistline and 2 inches on the under bust. Now on the bust point, I came down 1 inch from the bust point. I'll connect the 2 inches dart together, and I'll use my curve ruler to connect it to the 1 inch I came down on the bust point. So just watch carefully, it is very easy. So now I'll be connecting my dart to the center of our armhole. So where we got to the center of our armhole, we'll connect our dart to that center. So it is easy. So now next thing I'm going to do now is on that center line, I'll come down by 1 inch. You can mark half an inch on both sides, but I came down 1 inch, and I'll connect it back to the 1 inch points we came down on the under bust. So if there's any part you don't understand, you can ask me questions on the comment section. So I'm just placing my curve to get it correctly. So after marking that out, this is what I have. So now I'll be extending my armhole by 1 inch, and I'll reconnect my armhole. So this way we will not get, like, our armhole will not be short when you're joining. When you're joining, everything will be perfect. So after that, this is what we have. Now I'll be taking our round measurements. I've already gotten my bust measurements, so I'll check the dart intake I have on the chest line. So I'll measure that out. Whatever it is, I'll place it back on the bust line this way, and I'll add my 2 inches stitching allowance. On the waistline, I'll divide my round waist by 4. I'll mark that out. After marking out, I'll replace the 2 inches dart on the waistline. I'll add 2 inches stitching allowance, and I'll connect the points together this way. So we're done drafting out the front bust this. So this is how easy it is. So now we are done. The next thing we are going to do now is just to trace out all the excess we have on the side. So by tracing, just watch carefully the places I'm cutting. So guys, before we get back to the video, do not forget to give me a thumbs up on this video and like and subscribe to my channel. And when you give my videos a thumbs up, it will help more people to see this video. So thank you guys so much for your support. I do not take it for granted. So after cutting it out, this is what we have. We'll keep it aside so we can draft out our back. So for my back piece, I've marked out my back. I have my zipper allowance of 1 inch. So just like we did for the front, the chest line, the waist, I took a neck width of 3 inches and the depth is 1 inch. Then I curved out my armhole. So now the next thing I'm going to do now is I'll be adjusting my zip at the back. On the waistline, I came out by 1/2 inch. So this is what will make your zip sit properly without it budging. And I'll connect it back this way. So on that point, I'll still go up by 1 inch. And I'll connect it back to the full length this way. So this will help your zip to sit very well on your body. So after that, I'll trace out all the excess we have. So after tracing out this excess, I'm going to use this pattern to go cut out my on my fabric. Then I'll bring it back to show you what I have. So here I've cut out my fabric. I've used my pattern to cut out my fabric. I have the front, and I equally have both the front and the lining, and I have the back piece, the main piece, and the lining too. So now we'll take out the lining, so we'll work on the main piece. So I'll open it up this way. Now I'm going to place the right side facing each other. I'll take it to the machine. I'll stitch with 1/2 inch. See the way I'm placing it, that's how you're going to sew. So I'll stitch with 1/2 inch. I'll come to the other side. I'll do the same. I'll place the right side facing each other and I'll stitch with 1/2 inch. So whatever you're doing for the main piece, you're equally going to do the same thing for the lining. So for the back piece, we'll be working on the back piece too. So to join the back piece, we're going to take out the pins we have here. So we're going to open up the main piece and the lining. So take out one of your main piece and one of your lining. Now we're going to place the right side facing each other. So we're going to stitch the neckline with 1/2 inch. After that, we're going to close the sides with 1/2 inch. Now close the armhole with 1/2 inch and close the other side with 1/2 inch. So whatever you do for this side, do for the other side, and after closing, you turn it to the right side. So for this other side, you're going to repeat the same thing. Close the neckline with 1/2 inch, close the sides with 1/2 inch, the armhole and the sides with 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go stitch all of them together now, and I'll do that and bring it back to show you what I have. So after stitching my front parts, so this is how everything came out looking nice. So I'm going to get my back piece. So I've equally stitched my back piece and I've closed the zipper allowance and ironed it out. So on the side, I've marked my body measurement. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to get the front. I'll be placing the front shoulder inside the back shoulder this way, so that our shoulder seam will be inside. So I'll put my hand inside and I'll bring it out this way. So just take your time while doing this, do not rush it. So I'll adjust it very well to make sure that the two shoulders are matching each other. So after doing that, I'll stitch with 1/2 inch. So after stitching the shoulders, the next thing is just to do what I'll go now stitch the sides with the measurement I have already placed. So after stitching the shoulders, I'll stitch the sides. So I'll do that and bring it back to show you what I have. So after stitching both the front and the back, this is what I have. Do you see how neat the shoulder seam looks? So, and this is what the inside looks like. So we'll keep this aside so that we'll work on our skirts. So this is my skirt. I have both the front and the back piece, and for the back I've already marked out 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance. So this is the back and this is the front. So for the full length of my skirt, I'm making use of the full length I have here. That is the full length of the Ankara piece. So now I'm going to mark my hip points. I'll come down 9 inches for my hip point. Then I have my full length. So the next thing is I'm going to take my waist measurement. So after marking it out, you are free to mark your knee, but I want it to be not too fitted. So I'll divide my round waist by 4, and I'll mark my stitching allowance of 2 inches. On the hip line, I divided my hip by 4 marks. I added 2 inches. And remember, we are marking from the front, not from the zipper allowance side. So whatever measurement I have on the hip, I'll first of all connect from the waist to the hip. Now I'm going to measure to get the measurement I have on the hip line, and I have 12 inches. So I'll be taking that 12 inches all the way down to the full length. So because this is not a fitted gown, like I didn't want it to be that fitted, but if you want it to be that fitted, you just have to come to your knee point and take out 1.5 inches from your hip and mark it on your hip point. But since I don't want it to be that penciled, that is why I'm making use of my hip point all the way, or my hip measurements all the way down to the full length. So after marking that, this is what I have. Now I'm going to adjust my zip to avoid zip bulge. On the waistline, I came down, I marked in 1 inch. So remember, we have 1.5 inches zipper allowance for this back piece, but on the waistline, I marked 1 inch. Now I'll be marking 1 inch this way. After marking the 1 inch, I'll connect the lines to meet the 1.5 inches on the hip line. So this is our hip allocation. So I marked 1 inch down and I connected it to the hip point. Now from that hip point, I'm going to come down 4 inches. And on that 4 inches, I'll still come out by 1 inch. And I'll connect it back to the hip point. So this is how to adjust your hip allocation. Now this is what I have. Now I'll be marking 1 inches all the way down to the full length of my skirt. So this 1 inch now is our new zipper allowance. So I'll mark it all the way down to the full length. So after marking that, this is what I have. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to trace out all the excess I have on the side. So guys, if you have watched up to this point and you've not subscribed, what are you waiting for? I have amazing content that you will love. So please subscribe to the channel. Let us be besties. So now I'm going to split open the sides. I'll cut off the excess I have on the zipper allowance side. So after cutting out, this is what I have. So this is what I have near. I will notch my zipper allowance. Now I'll be using this pattern. I'll be using this skirt to cut out my lining. So I'll cut out my lining and bring it back. So here I've cut out my lining. So this is for my front piece. I have the lining. And to turn the lining with the skirt, this is how we're going to be doing it. So the lining is 1 inch shorter than the skirt. This way it will not be showing after you're done sewing your skirt with the lining. So to join the lining and the skirt, I'll open up my skirt. So I'll open up my skirt this way. I'm sorry you're not seeing it very well. My table is actually very small. So I'll place my lining on it, right side facing each other. Right side facing each other. Now I'll take it to the machine. I'll stitch the lower part with 1/2 inch. So after stitching with lower part, I will drag it up to meet the upper part. Then when it meets the upper part, now I'll stitch the sides with 1/2 inch on both sides and I'll turn it to the right side. So I'll do that and bring it back to show you what I have. So after stitching, this is what my front piece looks like. So if I turn it now, this is how the inner is looking like. So I've turned it out. So next thing I'm going to do now is, this is my ruffle. Remember, the side have a ruffle. So I just cut out a fabric of 60 inches and I gathered it up to 22 inches. So for the side we're placing it, I placed mine on the left side. So from the waistline, I came down 1.5 inches. That is where I want my ruffles to start. Then I placed the ruffles on it. So you're going to place it right side facing each other, so that when you turn it, it will be on the right side. Like, it will not be the wrong side showing. So I'll use my pins to hold it down so that when I'm stitching, it will not be moving. So after that, I'll get my back piece. So here I've marked out my allowance, my body measurements, and I've closed my zipper allowance and ironed it out. So I'll place it this way, right side facing each other. Now, following the measurement I've already marked out, I'll go stitch it down on both sides. So I'll do that and bring it back to show you what I have. So after stitching down my skirt, this is how neat everything is looking. Now I'll be joining the lower part and the upper part together. So I'll place it this way, right side facing each other. I'll go join with 1/2 inch. After joining, I'll add my zipper allowance. I'll do that and bring it back. So here, this is how everything came out looking so nice. So guys, this is us coming to the end of this tutorial. So if there's any part you don't understand, ask me a question on the comment section, and do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, and on your post notification button so you get notified. See you on my next video. Bye.